Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're a gun enthusiast, collector, or just someone who's curious about the firearms market, you're in for a treat today. We're diving into a topic that's been making waves in the gun community: the surprising drop in value for some of the most iconic firearms out there. Over the past couple of years, from 2024 to 2025, we've seen guns that were once the pride of collections or the go-to choice for shooters lose their resale value fast. Whether it's due to a flooded market, changing tastes, or new tech taking over, these shifts are real and they're hitting hard. In this video, we're going to walk through 15 firearms that have seen their values tank, based on what dealers are reporting, what trade-ins are fetching, and what buyers are actually paying on the secondhand market. If you own one of these, you might want to listen up, because the numbers might surprise you. Let's get started. First up, let's talk about the Browning Citori, an iconic over-under shotgun beloved by clay shooters and hunters for its stellar craftsmanship, reliable mechanics, and timeless design. When it debuted in the 1970s, a new Citori cost around $500 to $700, about $3,000 to $4,000 in today's dollars, reflecting its premium status with a solid receiver and crisp trigger. By 2020, new models were priced from $3,000, with high-end versions like the Citori 725 hitting $5,000 or more. In 2025, though, the market's shifted. New Citoris still retail for $3,000 to $4,000, but used ones are now going for $1,000 to $1,500, a 30 to 40% drop. Why the slide? Economic pressures have made buyers hesitant to splurge on high-end shotguns, and newer semi-automatic models with customizable features are stealing the show. Plus, the second-hand market is flooded with Citoris, pushing prices down. The Citori's strengths shine through. Its durable break-action design is reliable, with fewer parts to fail, and its balance makes it a dream for tracking targets like clays or upland birds. It's versatile, handling everything from skeet to pheasant hunting. However, it can feel heavy for new or smaller shooters, especially on long outings. It also lacks the modularity of modern semi-autos, which offer adjustable stocks and recoil systems. Maintenance is simple, but requires care to keep the action tight. As an investment, its resale value has taken a hit, so it's better valued for performance than profit. In 2025, the Citori remains a fantastic shooter, but its market reflects a tougher economy and competition from flashier, more customizable options. Let's talk about the Remington 870 Wingmaster, a pump-action shotgun that's been a legend since the 1950s, loved by hunters and home defenders for its rugged durability and ability to handle any ammo, from slugs to birdshot. Back when it launched, a new Wingmaster cost $100 to $150, about $1,000 to $1,500 in 2025 dollars, reflecting its quality with a solid steel receiver and smooth pump action. By 2020, new ones were priced at $800 to $1,200, while used models held steady at $500 to $600. Fast forward to 2025, and the market's shifted. New Wingmasters still run $900 to $300, but used ones are down to $300 to $400, a 40% drop. The second-hand market is swamped with pump-action shotguns, and buyers are eyeing semi-automatic firearms or multi-purpose pistols with more customizable features. Economic pressures have tightened budgets, making high-end shotguns less appealing, and dealers are cutting prices to clear excess stock, tanking resale values. The 870's strengths are still solid. Its simple design is ultra-reliable, rarely jamming, and versatile enough for duck hunting or home defense. But it has downsides. It lacks the modularity of modern firearms like adjustable stocks or quick-change barrels, which younger shooters want. The pump action feels slow compared to semi-autos for quick follow-up shots. Maintenance is easy, but older models show wear if neglected, and parts for vintage ones are getting scarce. In 2025, the 870 Wingmaster remains a dependable workhorse, but its market struggles against flashier, more adaptable options in a tough, budget-conscious climate. Let's dive into the Remington 7600, a pump-action rifle that's been a hunter's favorite since the 1980s, loved for its accuracy and quick handling with calibers like .30-06, .308 Winchester, and .243. When it first hit the market, A new 7600 cost around $350, which is about $900 in 2025 dollars, a fair price for its solid build and smooth pump action. Fast forward to 2025, and the market's taken a hit. Used 7600s are now selling for just $350 to $400, a steep drop from their original value. The second-hand market is flooded, and modern semi-automatic rifles with features like recoil reduction and adjustable grips are stealing the show. Economic pressures have buyers leaning toward flashier, more versatile options, leaving dealers to slash prices to clear stock, tanking resale values. The 7600's strengths are clear. Its reliable pump-action design has fewer parts to fail, making it a solid choice for quick shots on fast-moving game like deer or hogs. But it's not perfect. The pump mechanism feels dated compared to semi-autos, which fire faster. It also lacks customization options like swappable barrels or rail systems that today's shooters crave. Maintenance is straightforward, but older models can show wear, and parts for vintage ones are getting harder to find. In 2025, the Remington 7600 remains a dependable hunting rifle, but its market is struggling against high-tech, customizable competitors in a budget-conscious world. The Marlin 1895 has long been a legend among big game hunters, valued for its ability to deliver the hard-hitting C45-70 cartridge with the smooth cycling and quick follow-up shots that only a lever-action rifle can provide. At its peak in recent years, particularly before Ruger's acquisition of Marlin, this rifle could command $1,200 or more on the used market, with certain configurations and pre-acquisition models fetching even higher premiums from collectors. In 2025, however, most used 1895s sell for around $800 to $1,000, reflecting a roughly 20 to 35% drop in value. The decline is due in part to the production transition under Ruger, where early runs suffered from sporadic quality control issues that dented buyer confidence. At the same time, the broader hunting market has shifted towards semi-automatic platforms and modern sporting rifles that offer higher capacities, faster follow-up shots, and compatibility with optics, suppressors, and other accessories straight from the factory. The second-hand market has also become saturated with 1895s as owners cash out, while prices remain relatively strong, further driving down demand. On the plus side, the 1895 remains a proven powerhouse for hunting large game like bear, elk, and deer in thick timber or brush, where its fast handling and heavy punch shine. It's also deeply rooted in American firearms heritage, appealing to shooters who value tradition as much as performance. On the downside, its relatively slow reload time, lower capacity, and bulkier ammunition make it less versatile compared to modern alternatives, and its investment potential has weakened. For dedicated liver gun fans, it's still a rifle worth owning. For those focused on resale value, the golden days have already passed. The Savage Axis has long been a favorite entry-level, bolt-action rifle for hunters and target shooters who want respectable accuracy without spending a fortune, and for years it delivered exactly that. A straightforward, no-nonsense platform that performed well enough to earn a loyal following. At its peak, especially in the years when affordable precision rifles were in shorter supply, the Axis could sell new for around $500, and used models in good condition would often bring $450 without much haggling. In 2025, however, the picture is different, with used examples typically fetching between $300 and $400, a drop of roughly 20–40% from its top market value. The decline is less about the rifle's performance. It's still capable of sub-MOA groups with the right ammo, and more about the fierce competition in the budget rifle segment. Brands like Ruger, Mossberg, and Tikka have stepped in with offerings that feature smoother actions, improved triggers, better stock ergonomics, and factory-threaded barrels for muzzle devices, all at prices close to what the Axis commands. In comparison, the Axis remains functional but basic, lacking many of the refinements and customization options that modern buyers expect. On the plus side, its lightweight, dependable accuracy, and affordable price still make it a solid choice for new hunters, or as a secondary rifle for seasoned shooters. On the downside, its stripped-down design, limited aftermarket support, and the sheer number of competing rifles in its price bracket mean it struggles to hold its value and has little appeal as an investment piece. For those who just need a reliable tool to get the job done, it remains a practical option. For those hoping to see appreciation in resale, the Axis is unlikely to deliver. Let's move to handguns. The Ruger P95, introduced in the late 1990s, built a strong following for its rugged construction, dependable performance, and wallet-friendly price tag, earning a place in the holsters of law enforcement officers and the nightstands of home defenders across the country. At its peak, especially in its early years when polymer-framed semi-automatics were still relatively new to the mainstream, a new P95 could sell for around $450 to $500. And used models in good condition weren't far behind. In 2025, however, that same pistol typically moves for just $250 to $350, reflecting a significant 30 to even 50% drop in value over time. The decline isn't because the P95 stopped working. It's still known for being reliable, handling a wide range of ammunition, and tolerating neglect better than many of its contemporaries. But the handgun market has shifted dramatically. Today's buyers expect features like modular grip systems, accessory rails, and factory red dot sight compatibility, all of which the P95 lacks. Modern designs such as the Glock 17 or Sig Sauer P320 offer better ergonomics, lighter triggers, and an aftermarket ecosystem that allows owners to customize their guns extensively, leaving the P95 looking and feeling dated. On the plus side, the P95 remains an incredibly durable and low-maintenance firearm, capable of decades of service with minimal upkeep. And its current low price makes it an attractive option for budget-conscious shooters who prioritize function over flash. On the downside, its outdated design and lack of upgrade options mean it's unlikely to gain collector value or competitive edge in the modern market. For owners, it's still a trustworthy sidearm. For investors, it's a reminder that even a rock-solid workhorse can fall behind when the industry moves forward. The Sig Sauer P250, introduced in 2007, entered the market with big ambitions and a bold selling point: a fully modular design that allowed users to swap out frames, slides, and calibers to suit their preferences. On paper, it promised unprecedented flexibility, and early marketing positioned it as a revolutionary concept that could replace the need to buy multiple pistols. At its peak, a new P250 often sold for $550 or more. And for a time, it drew strong interest from both civilian shooters and law enforcement agencies curious about its potential. However, reality didn't match the hype. The platform's complexity was a hurdle for many, especially beginners. And while the modular components were an innovative idea, they didn't always deliver the seamless compatibility buyers expected. By 2025, used P250s are typically selling in the $300 to $400 range, representing roughly a 30–45% drop from their highest retail value. The arrival of the Sig Sauer P320, essentially an improved evolution of the same modular concept, sealed the P250's fate, offering better ergonomics, a more intuitive design, and broader aftermarket support. Meanwhile, the broader handgun market has moved toward pistols with optics-ready slides, enhanced triggers, and even electronic integration, features the P250 never offered. On the plus side, it's still a well-built, accurate pistol that can appeal to tinkerers who enjoy experimenting with configurations, and its relatively low price today makes it an affordable entry into SIG ownership. On the downside, its discontinued status means limited parts availability, reduced resale appeal, and the fact that it's overshadowed by more modern and user-friendly options. In the end, the P250 was an ambitious experiment that changed the conversation about handgun modularity, even if it never became the standard bearer SIG once hoped it would be. The Glock 43, launched in 2015, made an immediate splash in the concealed carry world, quickly becoming a top pick for those who wanted Glock reliability in a slim, easily concealable package. At its peak, especially in the first few years after release when demand for single-stack 9mm pistols was at a high, the Glock 43 routinely sold for close to $500 new, and even used examples could command $450 if in excellent shape. Fast forward to 2025, and used models are now moving in the $350 to $400 range, marking a 20 to 30% drop from its original selling power. The reason isn't that the Glock 43 suddenly became unreliable. It's still as durable, accurate, and low maintenance as the day it debuted, but the concealed carry market has evolved rapidly. Glock's own lineup has overtaken it, with the 43X and 48 offering higher magazine capacities without a significant size penalty, giving shooters more firepower in a similarly concealable form. At the same time, competing brands have been aggressive in adding modern features like factory red dot sight compatibility, improved ergonomics, and enhanced triggers, leaving the original Glock 43 feeling dated by comparison. On the plus side, its proven track record, straightforward manual of arms, and consistent performance make it a dependable choice for personal defense, especially for those who value simplicity and a no-frills approach. On the downside, its limited capacity and lack of optics readiness are clear disadvantages in today's fast-moving subcompact market. For owners who love its reliability, it will still serve well, but for those looking to stay competitive with the latest concealed carry trends, the writing is on the wall. It may be time to consider an upgrade. For revolver fans, the Heritage Rough Rider has long been a go-to entry point, offering that unmistakable cowboy-era aesthetic paired with a price tag that appealed to beginners and casual shooters alike. At its peak, especially when cowboy action shooting was enjoying a stronger following, this single-action rimfire revolver could fetch around $203 new, and even lightly used models moved quickly for close to that price. But in 2025, the market tells a different story, with most examples selling in the $150 to $200 range depending on condition, translating to a drop of roughly 20 to 40% in value from its highest point. The reasons aren't hard to pinpoint. The budget revolver segment is oversaturated, and the cultural interest in cowboy-style shooting sports has cooled compared to a decade ago. Meanwhile, the rise of affordable, reliable semi-automatic pistols, offering higher capacity, faster reloads, and greater versatility for both self-defense and recreational use, has pulled attention away from single-action revolvers like the Rough Rider. On the upside, it's still an inexpensive and low-recoil firearm that's easy to operate, making it a great teaching tool for new shooters, or a fun plinker for range days. It's mechanically simple, cheap to feed with that .22 LR, and has a nostalgic appeal that semi-autos just can't replicate. On the downside, its slow loading and unloading process, limited defensive utility, and declining collector interest mean it's unlikely to appreciate or even hold steady in value over time. For someone buying it purely for enjoyment, it remains a solid choice. For anyone hoping it will be an investment, the numbers simply aren't in its favor. The Smith & Wesson M&P Shield, first hitting the market in 2006, quickly became one of the most trusted names in concealed carry, earning a reputation for dependability, straightforward handling, and a comfortable shooting experience that appealed to both new gun owners and seasoned carriers. At its height, especially in the first few years after release, a new Shield could command close to $500, and even used models often sold for $450s or more if they were in good condition with minimal wear. Fast forward to 2025, and the story is very different. Today, most used Shields move in the $300 to $350 range, with some dipping as low as $280 if they're older, or show cosmetic blemishes, representing roughly a 30–40% drop in resale value from its peak. The reasons aren't about the gun's quality. It's still a reliable, accurate, and easy-to-maintain firearm, but rather the shifting demands of the concealed carry market. Competitors like the Sig Sauer P250, with its higher capacity in a comparably compact package, have set a new standard, while pistols like the Glock 43X bring improved ergonomics, accessory options, and optics readiness to the table. The original Shield's lack of built-in red dot compatibility and smaller magazine capacity now feels like a disadvantage to buyers who expect those features right out of the box. On the plus side, the Shield's proven track record, comfortable recoil management, and straightforward manual of arms make it a trustworthy choice for self-defense, especially for those who value simplicity over bells and whistles. On the downside, the resale market is flooded with used Shields, and with so many newer micro-compacts offering more features for a similar price, its market value continues to slide, making it a tough sell for owners but a great bargain for buyers seeking a dependable, no-nonsense carry gun. Let's talk about the Ruger AR-556, an AR-15 style rifle that's been a go-to for hunters, home defenders, and range shooters since its 2015 debut, thanks to its affordability, durability, and versatility with 5.56 NATO or .23 Remington ammo. At its peak around 2020, a new AR-556 commanded about $900, a solid price for a reliable rifle backed by Ruger's reputation. Fast forward to 2025, and the market's taken a hit. Used ones are now selling for $500 to $600, a drop of roughly 33 to 44% from that high. What's going on? The AR-15 market is flooded with options, and newer rifles with modular rails, red dot compatibility, and lighter materials are stealing the spotlight. Economic caution and stricter regulations in some states have also cooled demand, leaving the second-hand market overflowing and prices down. The AR-556's strengths are still solid. Its simple, rugged design is easy to maintain and performs like a workhorse in tough conditions, making it a great pick for beginners or those wanting a budget-friendly rifle. It's versatile enough for hunting, defense, or plinking at the range, but it's got drawbacks. The AR-556 lacks the modern features tactical shooters crave, like enhanced ergonomics or free-floating rails for easy customization. Its basic handguard and fixed front sight feel dated compared to competitors, and upgrading parts like triggers or stocks can be a hassle. Maintenance is straightforward, but heavy use can wear it down over time. In 2025, the Ruger AR-556 remains a dependable, cost-effective rifle, but its resale value is struggling in a crowded market where flashier, more advanced options are king. The Taurus Judge, debuting in 2006, built its reputation on a unique dual-caliber capability, able to chamber both .45 Colt cartridges and .10 10-bore shot shells, offering owners the flexibility to switch between traditional revolver ammunition and small shotgun rounds in the same platform. This versatility, paired with its rugged construction and straightforward revolver operation, made it an attractive choice for those seeking a multi-purpose firearm for home defense, trail carry, or just recreational shooting at the range. At its height, the Judge could fetch around $600 new, with used models still commanding $500 or more if in excellent condition. By 2025, however, used examples are commonly selling for $300 to $400, marking a 35–50% decline in value. Several factors are behind the slide. While the .410 shot shell adds novelty, it delivers inconsistent stopping power in defensive scenarios, and the .45 Colt, while potent too, often struggles with accuracy at the close ranges where the Judge is marketed to excel. Add to that a bulky, heavy frame that feels clunky compared to modern, lighter handguns, and the Judge begins to look more like a niche novelty than a practical all-around choice. Meanwhile, the handgun market has shifted sharply toward compact, high-capacity semi-automatics like the Glock 19 or Sig Sauer P250, which offer better ergonomics, more firepower, and extensive customization options. The second-hand market for Judges is saturated, further driving prices down. On the plus side, it's still a mechanically simple and reliable revolver that stands out for its unconventional chambering, making it fun to own for enthusiasts who appreciate its quirks. On the downside, its declining practicality and resale potential make it a harder sell in today's performance-driven market. The Colt King Cobra, first introduced in 1986, earned its place in revolver history as one of the finest .357 Magnum wheel guns ever produced, revered for its precision machining, exceptional accuracy, and robust construction that could endure years of hard use without compromising performance. Its smooth, consistent trigger pull and rock-solid lockup made it a favorite among serious shooters, law enforcement professionals, and collectors alike, cementing its reputation as both a working gun and a collectible piece. At its peak, particularly during the revolver renaissance among collectors in the 2010s, a pristine King Cobra could command $2,500 or more, with certain rare variants fetching even higher prices. But by 2025, used examples are generally selling in the $800 to $200 range, representing a steep 50–65% drop in value. The reasons are multifaceted. The revolver market has seen a surge of lighter, more technologically advanced models boasting improved recoil management, modern ergonomics, and optics compatibility, features the King Cobra simply wasn't built to accommodate. As shooter preferences shift toward firearms that blend tradition with contemporary performance, the heavy, feature-limited King Cobra finds itself competing in a saturated second-hand market where supply often exceeds demand. On the plus side, it still delivers match-grade accuracy, a trigger that rivals or surpasses many current production revolvers, and a level of craftsmanship that modern mass-produced guns rarely match. On the downside, its lack of adaptability to current accessory trends and its bulk compared to newer offerings limit its appeal for practical use, leaving it valued primarily for its heritage rather than its modern-day utility. The Springfield XDS, debuting in 2012, quickly carved out a spot among concealed carry handguns by delivering a dependable blend of reliability, user-friendly handling, and built-in safety measures like its distinctive grip safety, which offered added peace of mind without compromising speed of deployment. Its crisp trigger, manageable recoil, and streamlined profile made it especially appealing to those seeking a straightforward, concealable sidearm for personal defense. At its peak, a new XDS could command around $600, with used examples often selling for $500 or more in excellent condition. By 2025, however, most used models are trading in the $350 to $450 range, reflecting a 25–40% drop in value. The decline has less to do with the pistol's performance. It remains a durable, accurate, and trustworthy firearm, and more to do with the rapidly evolving concealed carry market. Competitors like the Sig Sauer P250 and Glock 43X have raised the bar by offering higher magazine capacities, slimmer yet more ergonomic designs, and factory optic-ready slides, all of which appeal to today's shooters who expect their carry guns to be modular and upgradable. The XDS, with its relatively limited capacity and lack of built-in red dot compatibility, now feels dated in comparison. On the plus side, its proven track record, solid build quality, and intuitive handling still make it a strong choice for those who value simplicity and reliability over customization. On the downside, the saturated second-hand market, coupled with shifting buyer priorities toward versatility and modern features, means the XDS is losing ground as newer models dominate the conversation. For buyers on a budget, it's still a smart, dependable choice. For sellers, its days as a top-value contender are over. Finally, the Beretta 92FS, an enduring icon of military and law enforcement service since the 1980s, built its reputation on outstanding accuracy, a smooth and dependable double-action, single-action trigger system, and a battle-tested durability that could withstand harsh environments and years of hard use. Its ergonomic grip, excellent balance, and soft recoil impulse made it approachable for a wide range of shooters, from service members to civilian enthusiasts. At its peak, the 92FS was commanding around $700 new, with used models often fetching $600 or more if well maintained. By 2025, however, its resale value has slipped to the $400 to $500 range, reflecting a 30–45% drop from its prime. This decline is less a reflection of diminished performance. Its reliability and precision remain among the best in the class, and more a symptom of evolving market preferences. Today's buyers favor lighter, more compact handguns with modular frames, higher magazine capacities relative to size, and factory optic-ready slides, features that competitors like the Glock 19 and Sig Sauer P250 deliver in spades. The 92FS, with its heavier frame, bulkier profile, and limited modern accessory compatibility, struggles to appeal to a generation of shooters who prioritize adaptability and customization. On the plus side, its proven track record, mechanical longevity, and superb shootability ensure it remains a pleasure on the range and a dependable defensive sidearm. On the downside, the saturated second-hand market, combined with a shift toward contemporary feature-rich designs, has dulled its once dominant market position. For those who appreciate its legacy and craftsmanship, it's still a worthy addition to the safe. For those seeking resale potential or cutting-edge features, the 92FS is no longer the automatic choice it once was. So, what's the big picture here? The firearms market is changing fast. Oversupply, new technology, and shifting buyer preferences are hitting even the most iconic guns hard. Whether it's market saturation flooding the secondhand scene, modern features like red dot sights and customizable parts taking over, or regulations shaking things up, these 15 firearms show how quickly things can shift. If you own one of these, you've got a choice. Hold on to it for sentimental reasons, or consider selling before values drop further. The market's competitive, and staying on top of trends is key. Thanks for watching, folks. Let me know in the comments which of these surprised you the most. And if you want more deep dives like this, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.